Hey bag ladies and bag dudes, I'm Sara Lawson from So Sweetness. This is my husband Danny, and you're watching Ask Sara, my weekly Q&A chat. Hey everyone, welcome to Ask Sara. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. I see a lot of people chatting before the show on YouTube and Facebook. Helen's watching from Florida, Kathleen from Idaho, and Doreen is watching from New York City. So welcome everyone to Ask Sara. We're so excited that you're here. Just a friendly reminder, on next Tuesday's show, that is March 12th, that will be the very first book club show. So what's going to happen next Tuesday is I will be joined live on set with my friend Tamara. So Danny will have not really the night off since he'll still be running the controls on the show.
I think Sara got mad. I told her to get off my post on the Facebook group, and that's from that point on she found it. It's like,
so I fired you for next week.
I know how Violet felt now.
So anyway, my friend Tamara will be replacing Danny right here to my right. We will be having a discussion of the first book from book club, which is called The Sewing Machine. Obviously, you're welcome to watch even if you are not able to read the book or you just don't have time to read it. So we'll be discussing the book on the show. We'll be asking and answering questions. It's honestly my first time ever doing any kind of book club. This is a book club over the internet live with lots of people watching. So we're going to see how it goes, but we're going to try our best to make it an interactive experience. So hopefully everyone else watching will be able to answer the questions as well. Danny's going to put questions on the screen like he normally does.
I'm going on strike. It's going to be Violet.
And then at the end of the show next Tuesday, I will be posting the free Clydebank tote PDF pattern and video. And I had some questions about this, so I just wanted to make it clear. The video and pattern will be free for everyone, not just people who participate and read the books in book club. So every month of book club, it's a 6-month book club. That will be the case. So a new free video and pattern every month. We'll have the discussion every month. Actually, after the show or near the end of the show, next Tuesday, I will be announcing book number 2 for book club, so you want to stay tuned for that as well. And obviously feel free to read at your leisure. If you're only able to read certain months, that's totally fine. We're happy to have you on board. Really excited about that. If this is the first time you're hearing about book club, I went ahead and placed the link in the description. So after the show, you can click on that link and find the full information. Everything's free. There's no need to sign up. And also, what else was I going to say about the book club book? Oh, I saw some comments in the Facebook group regarding bark cloth fabric. I did use bark cloth fabric in one of my samples, actually 2 of my samples of the bag. Completely not necessary to use bark cloth in your bag. I highly recommend using quilting cotton. I'm actually using quilting cotton for my version in the video, which we'll be filming tomorrow. I cut out my pieces yesterday and today, so I figured I'll show you my fabric choices for my bag that we'll be filming the video for. So I decided to go with this quilting cotton like I mentioned. This is a succulent print from Windham Fabrics. So I thought it was really cool. I thought it looked really realistic. Doesn't it look really realistic? Like there's actual
I like it a lot.
on the fabric.
Why do you think it sucks though?
Succulents.
Oh,
they're like little cactuses.
I gotta listen better.
So I decided to go with this for my main fabric. The side panels are a different fabric, and I decided to go with this natural color of cork for the sides. And then
I approve.
And then Danny helped me choose the lining fabric. I had 2 different greens that I was going to go with, so I chose this Moda Grunge fabric for the lining. Thought it was pretty close match. So again, we're filming the video tomorrow. The free project as well as the video will be posted after the show next Tuesday. It'll be our regular time slot. That's 7 p.m. Central Time. And we hope you'll join us. If you can't make the live show, as always, the recording will be available for you to watch anytime.
Someone said they were watching from UK and they're going to stay up till, I think it was 2 a.m. their time to watch the show because they really enjoyed the book.
Yeah, the book was awesome. I saw some comments from people that attempted to read the book, perhaps the beginning, that they felt like they were confused, that there were several different characters and storylines going on at the same time. There's really not a whole lot. There's basically 3 main storylines, possibly 4. But I promise it all works out in the end. The ending's amazing. It's an amazing book. And even though you might have felt a little trepidation when reading maybe the first chapter or two, I hope you'll consider sticking with it because I know you haven't read it, so you can't comment on it. But it really is a worthwhile read. And it has, obviously, it's called The Sewing Machine. There's so much sewing-related fiction packed into that book. It's amazing. So anyway, that'll be on next week's show. I enjoy seeing movies. I like watching a lot of TV shows when I'm working during the day. And so I get this magazine called Entertainment Weekly. And because it has to do with entertainment, there's a lot of information on new movies, TV shows, books, and music in this magazine that I get. I like getting an actual magazine as opposed to a digital copy. And I was reading... let's see. Bronwyn says, Danny could fold laundry during the show next week. That's an excellent idea.
I had to chuckle at that one.
I was reading about this. It's not sewing related, but you know that I love horses, and I was reading about this new movie that's coming out next week. I guess limited release, but it was at the Cannes Film Festival, and it's called The Mustang. And obviously the Mustang, that caught my attention. So I went online, I watched the trailer video, and the movie was produced by Robert Redford. It is about a man in prison and his, I believe, psychiatrist. Connie Britton is the psychiatrist in the movie, or whatever her role is. And they suggest that he, as part of therapy or rehabilitation, work to break wild Mustangs. And so, he's struggling with being in prison so long, I think 12 years in prison, working with these Mustangs and able to sort of turn his life around. At least that's what I gathered from the trailer. It looked really awesome. So I'm excited to see that movie hopefully next week if they have it in the area where we live. But yeah, we're always looking to find new movies. Any movies that you're looking to see that are coming out? Dumbo's coming out soon.
Oh, this Friday, Mrs. Marvel.
Captain Marvel's coming out this week, yeah. Always interested in seeing strong female characters like Captain Marvel.
Was it wrong calling her Miss Marvel then? Didn't sound as strong as Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel. She's a superhero.
No, you're right, 100%. But in my head, it said Miss Marvel.
Yeah, I know.
I gotta
okay.
stop listening
Slip
to it.
of the tongue. Yeah, that's fine.
Someone mentioned, there's gonna be a change in the clock this coming up weekend, and it may affect our foreign followers. So check your times. I do schedule the show ahead of time, so it may have some kind of a change for you personally.
Yeah, in the United States, I think most states, not every state, is turning, what are we turning? An hour ahead this Sunday. So that'll affect the Sunday show.
Fall back, spring forward.
Debbie says, Danny is looking a bit dejected. You should let him talk about video games for a while.
That's from a lady coming through,
No. There's tons of girls that play video games. You were just showing me earlier before on YouTube.
No, even before, yeah. We had a lot of followers that play video games, which is very cool.
All right, so let's get over to your second favorite part of the Tuesday show. We'd like to invite all the bag ladies and bag dudes to go ahead and type in the comments right now on Facebook or YouTube, either bag lady or bag dude, depending on which you are. We really appreciate looking over, especially on Tuesday. I can see really close up on the laptop all the bag lady and bag dude comments coming through the feed. And we really appreciate the supportive community. You guys are 101% the best around, and thank you so much.
No questions about it.
Yes. The best community anyone could ever hope for.
Here's something off the cuff that Sarah didn't plan or outline. But I know there's some people. Yeah, you might. I'm going to hear it after the show. Yeah, what's Danny going to say? It was my post in the Facebook group this week. I asked, I'm looking for the bag dudes that sew. Sorry, ladies, not you. We're looking for ideas, different sewing projects. And majority of the comments were from ladies. And I was looking for the gentlemen who sew and have their ideas. Now, the ladies said that they spoke to their men. They want to sew it for them, which is totally cool, and I get that. But I was looking for the male voice through the group and see what they thought about products. And those that did answer, both male and female, we do thank you very much for that. It's great ideas that came through there, and I can totally appreciate that. So thank you very much.
Actually, that post and everyone's ideas spurned, and I was talking to Danny earlier this evening, spurned a really great idea that I had in my head, not just for one pattern, but I don't really want to talk about the idea, but so many great ideas. Both the men and the ladies posted in the comments, and really got my wheels turning for like a brand new project. I guess I could call it a project because it's a bunch of different things. So thank you for piping up with your suggestions. And it's always really exciting for me because it's so funny. Year after year, like last year, I was like, all right, we had some new videos. We had the Minikins, but I'm not sure how I could top that. And then this year, I'm like, all right, we're doing, I'm feeling excited. We have the book club. We have later this summer the free quilt along with the videos. That's super awesome. Like, how am I going to top this year? And then the comments coming through from everyone regarding that post asking for more masculine projects really gave me a really great idea for next year. So I'm like, all right, this year I'm good. Next year I feel pretty good about so far, even though next year is a really long way away. But I have to think that
Sarah's
far in
a
advance.
Planner. Yep.
Yeah, I have to think that far in advance because writing patterns or writing multiple patterns, it takes time. I can't just have it ready for
like
next
that,
month,
boom.
So
Yeah.
anyway, thank you guys for doing that. We really appreciate it. My my parents came over this evening. My dad was hard at work cutting out some more Tulip Pink fabric. The new Tulip Pink Pinkerville comes out, I think, in a couple weeks. We're really excited to have that in, but we decided we needed to restock the previous Tulip Pink kits, and so my dad has a lot of fun cutting out the fabric and making the Minikins kits and all that kind of stuff. So
Charlie says, what about mannequins?
Mannequins. That's really funny. I like that. I lost my train of thought. That was
Your
such a
dad
great comment.
came over.
Yeah, I guess I have nothing really else to say about that. But all right, so let's get over to your pick of the week. How about that?
Okay, I was scouring the group for many hours this afternoon looking for the right project. There are so many Park Sling backpacks. I feel guilty. I would feel guilty picking another one this week, but there was so many great ones, so I didn't do it. Maybe I should do like a culmination of the Park Sling backpack for a side deal
like
next week or
like
something.
a mosaic picture with like a lot of
maybe a fast scroll through, maybe like group of 9 pictures, because there's literally, I would say 100. Well, when you said Michelle counted, and there's still many rolling through. And there was a comment I read a minute ago I think it said Mommy of 3 wrote this. I want to make a Park Sling that looks like an avocado, and I thought that would look pretty cool.
That is so cool.
It would look pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
I didn't go with the Park Sling.
With is it called a seed? The pit in the middle? Oh, that would be really awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool idea.
Cool.
Would that be a pull? Where would you put the pit?
I think you could put the pit
like an applique?
You could fussy cut it like from one, because the one half and then the zipper and then the other half.
I think dark brown cork would be pretty cool for a pit because the texture and the color looks very similar to a pit.
And then you could leave the edges raw. And
all right, Sarah, I'm trying to focus on my pick of the week. Wow.
Sorry.
Hold on. You're going to go in timeout. Whoa, relax, Sarah. Slow down. See, she's got these creative juices flowing. That's what happens. And that's what the thread sparks some good stuff like that. So like I say, once again, we do appreciate it.
Yeah, it's helpful to talk things through for me personally.
So my pick of the week was from Michelle of Baraboo Designs. Let me show this pic. She made the Dab Essential case, and she didn't just make one. She made 2. She didn't just make 2 either.
That's the same one.
But I'm saying I'm not.
I know.
She made 3, and the final pick you'll see she's made 6 in this set, and she
made more besides that, but that's how many are in the photo.
Okay. I don't have the insider knowledge. I looked through the pictures, but they were awesome. They look beautiful. I love the fabric, the colors. She's great settings for pictures. Her photography skills are A1. Great job. 2 thumbs up.
Hey, and you all probably noticed that she laminated her lining to make
I saw the one that was shiny. Yes.
To make it wipeable for those essential oils. So amazing job, Michelle. Yes.
Really awesome.
Good job. All right, let's, before we get over to some questions, we'd like to invite you now, if you're watching this video on Facebook, we'd like to invite you to hit the share button, share this sewing video with your other sewing friends on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, I hope you will consider subscribing so that you can get that little notification whenever we have a new live show or a new video posted. Regardless, likes really help us out a lot too, so if you could humor us and hit the like button, which looks like a little thumbs up icon, we really appreciate that so much.
Comment, and subscribe. The big 3.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to answer some questions live. So if you have a question for me, go ahead and type that in the comments, either a sewing related question, question about a notion or tool, maybe you have a question about book club coming next week, go ahead and type that in the comments right now. I will answer as many questions as I can live. I'm sorry if we are not able to get to all the questions live. I think Danny mentioned last week on the Sunday show, he was only through a few pages of questions, and then we ran out of time.
There were 8 pages ahead, still more questions and comments to go through. So we go back as far as we can, then as I advance as it goes. But sometimes they get pushed along too far.
Yeah, there's
so
a lot of questions and comments.
Back,
yeah, so we apologize if we can't get to all the questions. I know you try your best to pull out as many as you can. I see you put one on the screen already, so
Long
before you
ago.
elbow me, yep. Dawn says, are you getting the foam inserts in? That's a great question to kind of piggyback on the pick of the week with the essential oil bags. We did run out of the foam inserts for those projects last week, but we do have more on the way because I ordered some more, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I do have more on the way. We do have an out-of-stock notification on the website, so if anything is currently out of stock, there's a section on the product listing where you can enter your email address. So if you're patiently or impatiently waiting for anything that's out of stock,
I'm so impatient with stuff like that.
Like the foam inserts, you can enter your email address, and then as soon as I put it back in stock, you'll automatically get an email letting you know that it is back in stock. I see another item that people are waiting for. Let me just get to this question first because it's kind of in the same vein, and then I'll answer Lori's.
Templates.
Yes, I see Shinova was asking
Should be end this
about
week,
the
I'm hoping.
Park Sling backpack templates. Hopefully end of this week or early next week.
I got it right.
Well, I
remember from last week.
Since I was talking about the out-of-stock notification, since so many people were asking about that, I did create a product listing for the Park Sling backpack acrylic templates, just so that people could enter their email addresses in the out-of-stock notification if you wanted to. So the Park Sling backpack template listing is on the website. It's out of stock, and as soon as we get the templates, we'll list them in stock. What else was I going to say about that? Regarding the acrylic templates, they're only an option. They're never necessary to make any of my patterns. All of my patterns have the templates, which you can print out and cut out and use to make the patterns. The acrylic templates are optional in case you're making tons of the same project and you would like the ability to rotary cut them with the acrylic template and your rotary cutter. So again, those are just optional, never necessary if you don't need or want them. Okay, let's get to Lori's question.
I was going to say, wow, Sarah, that was a long answer for a short question.
Lori says, I bought a Juki and I'm wondering if you could quickly explain how you use the petal thread cut so easily, please. Good question. So on the front of the machine, there is a little button with the scissors to cut the thread, which you can use that. I use that one once in a while, but not usually. On my foot pedal, obviously you push this thicker area to sew.
I'll be the assumption.
And you push your heel back down, and this will cut the thread. So that's how I usually cut the thread on my machine. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Okay.
I'm glad I learned that, though.
Oh, yeah, because you'll be sewing your Park Sling backpack soon. Yeah, you just rock your heel down and push this. I've heard of some people that don't like this feature because sometimes they cut the thread by accident, but I usually don't. So I guess it depends on how you're usually putting your foot down on the pedal.
That's cool.
Valerie says, how do you clean Shapeflex glue off of the iron plate? Actually, I have that coming up really soon for Social Sunday. But
it came in the mail today, and I opened it. I ordered William some cards.
Oh, I was wondering how this appeared on my desk. I was like, I thought I ordered
Adam put it on my chair, and I thought it was William's because he would put it on your chair, I would assume, automatically. But
there's a whole bunch of options, which I'm finding out through research for cleaning your iron plate. So a dryer sheet, which a lot of people have in their house. We don't, but dryer sheets are really quick and easy if you happen to have them. I purchased this faultless iron cleaner, which I've had in the past. I couldn't find mine, so I ordered another one so I could use it for the demonstration. Others recommended other additional products for cleaning and iron, which I purchased those as well. Magic eraser. So I'm going to be demonstrating that on a future episode of Social Sunday. I'm trying to figure out, though, I don't have an iron with a lot of gunk on it, so I was thinking of, I have an old Rowenta iron that I don't really use anymore because it leaks. I was thinking of getting that one really messy with adhesives and then using all the different products for cleaning it off. Does that sound reasonable? Did you hear what I said, or you just nodded?
Tried a bunch of different
products. I'm just joking because I know sometimes. I know. That's why I'm messing with you. Kathy says, how long does it take for you to video the construction of a bag, including the editing? So you usually don't get to answer a lot of questions because they're usually for me. So I'll let you answer this one.
You
I know
still
you
took
can.
a long time just to give me the answer. Yes, we can film for 2 days on the bag project. It's sometimes shorter, sometimes longer. And then editing another day. If I want to stay up late, we can do it in 1 day. So 2 to 3 days. And Sarah does...
We don't usually stay filming for 2 days, do we?
Yeah, some projects. If it's not a minikin, the minikins are roughly faster filming.
I guess
the last 4-pack, we had one that was a 2-day, and it was a long 2-day, probably, I don't know, 15 hours of filming.
Oh, the yarn minder, but that's because it was
so many
3
variations.
different versions.
Yep.
That's not the usual.
It's not the usual, but I include
no,
everything.
I feel proud that we can usually finish filming a project in 1 day, but...
True.
That's why I interjected there.
Thanks for answering the question for me, Sarah. I'm done.
Margie says, when does the quilt along begin? Sometime this summer. I don't have a particular date yet. The book club will be running from now through, I think, mid to late August. We'll have a contest at the end, so the book club will overlap a bit with the quilt along, but I'm cool with that. I'm excited about that. Michelle says, have you ever thought of doing a fabric swap? Actually,
that'd be pretty cool, especially because it's worldwide, and you may get someone that's far away and
like that
you
idea.
can't have access to fabric.
So I know when Michelle Graham hosts her gift swaps, she's doing the Easter swap right now. A lot of people send little pieces of fabric along with their handmade pouch, but it would be really cool to have just a plain old fabric swap, because I know sometimes people don't necessarily have time to sew a pouch for someone else for the gift swap, but a fabric swap sounds really cool. Tamara said try a magic eraser or a dryer sheet. Yeah, those are both really easily accessible items that a lot of people have. When are the recipes coming out? So excited. We're still working on that. Stay tuned for that information about that soon. That's a free recipe book, ebook that we'll be having for member contributed recipes. And Sarah says, how do you guys choose winners with so many comments on multiple platforms? So I guess there's 2 answers for that. When we do live winners, like sometimes on a Sunday show, I'll have an extra giveaway for the live winners. Do you want to quickly answer how you do that?
Well, if we do the live one, I'll have pages of comments. Like right now we have 36 pages of comments. Each page has 20 comments. So, and those come from all platforms that we're streaming from. YouTube. That's why you see your comments from a Facebook comment. One of the later on, you'll see where the blue F is. There'll be a red Y for YouTube. So we take all comments in, and then Sarah will say a random number, and I'll just count from right there as it pauses. So I have to do it really quick. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so that's the live winner. When I do my weekly Social Sunday giveaway winner, I copy and paste everyone's giveaway entry answers into a spreadsheet from both Facebook and YouTube, and I use a random number generator. It's called random.org. That's the website. So I would type in the maximum number of responses and then hit a button, and then it chooses a random number from 1 to the maximum number. So that's how the other giveaways are chosen.
Danny, how's your Park Sling backpack coming along? I still have not cut the interior fabrics yet. I will soon. I promise. Multiple questions came through recently about asking about zippers, explaining them. Do you have a video on that? I thought we talked about it on a show, but I don't remember how in depth.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Let's see.
It was like, can you explain zippers, like size zippers?
I do have a video on YouTube. I think if you do go to the search box on the So Sweetness YouTube channel and search for types of zippers, it'll take you to that video, and I talk about number 3 zippers and number 4.5 or number 5, which are handbag zippers. I show metal zippers. I show how to remove metal zipper teeth in case you need to shorten a metal zipper. What else do I talk about for the zippers? I might have showed an invisible zipper in that video, but I don't use or recommend invisible zippers for bag making, and I'm sure I talked about other things. That video is from last year, but you can find that on the YouTube channel. Renee says, Danny, I've heard about QuiltCon. What are your thoughts about a bag con?
Be pretty cool. It might be tough because sewing's like the big umbrella. Underneath that, you have quilting, which takes a huge portion of that umbrella. Then you have bag making, which takes a smaller portion. So it really depends. I think it's a cool idea, though.
I think a good majority of people who quilt also make bags or accessories. Not necessarily as seriously as I do. Like just about all my projects are bags, but I think most quilters have made at least a bag or a pouch or something like that. The really cool thing about QuiltCon is they take entries for quilts, and it's a judged show, and so they have quilts and prizes at the show. So it would be really cool
There's some really cool quilts. It
would be really cool at a bag con to have bag samples that you could see in person and even judged. That would be cool too, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. I think so. Emma says, Sarah, what is the difference between cork fabric and leather? So cork fabric, which was this piece that I held up before, comes in lots of different colors and prints. We have it on our website. And the cork is harvested from a cork oak tree, usually found in Portugal. So it is harvested from the tree in a way that allows the tree to continue to thrive. It's renewable. So the tree can continue to give cork, I guess it's called bark, for up to 200 years. And it is bonded to a backing fabric, and the backing fabric is a cork and polyester blend. So what was the other? Leather? Cork or leather? Was that the question? Mm-hmm. Leather is from an animal, so an animal hide can come from different animals, a cow, a goat, a calf, a snake
Sarah,
skin.
one word answer. Where can you get the Grunge fabric cards?
I had...
One word answer.
I don't know.
Okay, that's the answer.
I purchased my Grunge color card on Etsy, although I had a really hard time finding it.
Yeah, a lot of people said I have a hard time finding it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Sorry, I wish I had a better answer. I wish they would have... I'm assuming it's an older color card, and maybe they just stopped making it at a certain point. I'm honestly not sure. Nancy says, which vinyl or cork would you use with the De La Luna fabric, the purple? So if you're using the purple colorway of De La Luna, which is the Haunted bundle, we have the violet cork, which I think is a pretty close match. Charcoal, I think, will look nice with any of the De La Luna because there's charcoal like in the background or in the like filigree type of designs in De La Luna. A lot of the other two colorways are a tougher match because the turquoise does not have a close or exact match. But if you're using the purple Haunted, violet or charcoal. Sheila says, my dealer advised to turn the petal sideways to avoid cutting the thread when you don't want to cut the thread. Oh, that's a good idea. I wouldn't have thought about that. Good plan. Good plan for that. Oh, I see tons of good questions coming through. Ruth says, could you make a So Sweetness pop sockets? Is the pop
I want to know
socket...
if Sarah knew what this was.
Okay, I have a pretty good feeling. I think I know what it is. Is it the little circle that goes on the back of your cell phone so you can kind of hold it between your two fingers and it doesn't fall?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, one-handed operation.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
It does sound pretty cool.
With a little picture of a little drawing of a bag on there. Margaret says, iron cleaner with a terry cloth rag is very good. Make sure that you, I'm assuming she continued her comment.
I didn't see it on following it.
Okay.
It might have got shifted down.
Okay.
Make sure you do something with V. You're very careful, probably.
Oh, yeah. Make sure that you're very careful.
Yeah. A lot of comments coming through.
Okay. Excellent.
I think it's referring to her, not a question.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Pat says, is the Holland Road bag good for a first bag to make? Well, so first bags, I usually recommend either the Baker Street bag or the Easy Leather Hobo bag because those are both free and there's videos for both of them. I think on the difficulty scale, the Holland Road bag is, I would say, lower difficulty than maybe the Park Sling backpack or the Rise into bag, but it does have like a tight round bottom panel, which I don't know where I was going with that. It's not incredibly difficult, but we don't currently have a video for that particular pattern in case the videos are essential to making the project. Sorry, I wish I had a more exacting answer. I saw someone had a question, how many hours to make the Park Sling?
That's what I was clicking.
From Cheryl. I have not timed myself, but I did see a thread in the Facebook group, and I know Christina said 8 or 9 hours. That was the comment that stuck out in my mind, so I'm going to go with that. Did we film the Park Sling backpack in one day? Do you remember?
Yes.
Okay, so if we film the Park Sling backpack in one day, that's usually a 7-hour day, and we take lunch, so...
Yep. So we try to film while the kids are at school, so when they're at home, I spend all my attention with them while Sarah watches like TV or, reads a book or something.
No. Well, the thing about when we film videos, normally if there's a repetitive step in the videos, for example, if you have a zipper pocket in the lining and there's another zipper pocket, I usually try to have that finished before we film so we could be faster. So I guess take our 7 hours with a grain of salt because I have some of the steps done already that I don't have to sew, that I have to sew more than once. What I'm trying to say. Carla says, Danny, do you stay with Sara when she is doing a sewing video from start to finish?
Yeah, I have to because she needs a lot of help. I'll tell you what.
Danny wanted me to just be in here by myself and like click a button when I was done and like done with a take and then ready to do another take. But I wasn't comfortable with that because there's all sorts of things that can go wrong. Like the sound could be wrong.
Yep. Out of focus, wrong
sometimes when you start a take, it doesn't actually start filming, which I wouldn't be able to tell that. I would just be off sewing. And if we were missing a take, I would basically have to rip the bag apart until wherever we made the mistake to redo it. I'm not saying that's what I normally do, but if I was in here by myself and we didn't find out about mistakes until the whole video was finished, that would be a huge issue. I would be really upset with that if that happened. Michelle says, yes, I'll message you after the show, Sara, and set that up.
Can you remember what are we talking about? I know. I'm
the
pretty
fabric
sure.
swap?
You're on the ball tonight.
Okay.
You must have been taking your vitamins or...
You
You're
know
just,
what?
Like, clicking.
I started making smoothies, and I made smoothies, I think, once or twice last week, and then I didn't because I was too lazy. But I made a smoothie today because I was like, all right, it said that smoothies are supposed to give you energy. So I had my writing lesson today, so I was like, I'll make the smoothie, and I feel...
Amped up?
Yeah, I don't feel tired. Normally halfway through the day, I'm like, oh, I'm starting to feel kind of tired and sluggish. But today I didn't feel like that. So I should probably make the smoothies every day.
Are you going to address the comment or
Cheryl says,
riding your high?
So Sweetness is dominating my life. I love it. I'm getting my 7-year-old great-granddaughter making minikins. Yes.
That's awesome. Sure, I've seen your posts often in the group. You make some really awesome projects.
Yeah, let's start them young, 7 years old. That's
pretty good.
A reasonable time to start sewing. Heather says, where do you get your Tulip Pink fabric online? So I sell bag packs, 2-yard packs and 5-yard packs in the online shop. We'll be getting the Pinkerville that's coming out soon. Unicorns on that fabric line. I'm really excited about that one. Oh, sorry. I thought I saw you click the next one through. Tracy says, do you have recommendations for altering a backpack to keep it from falling off your shoulders? That is a good question. Maybe someone else has ideas and can let us know in the comments. I've not personally tried it myself, but I've heard of people sewing a little scrap of leather or something just
so
in the...
grips it better?
Yeah, just in the strap area. Or
Makes sense.
I wonder if suede would be really good too, because suede doesn't slide, right?
I guess. Isn't there some kind of vinyl that's like sticky? Actually, well, it depends if it's cola. I think the glitter vinyl is sort of like... That's why you have to have a Teflon foot, because it grips it,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, suede or leather. I'm sure there's other ideas. I just can't think of them off the top of my head.
What is that one type of material? Scuba, is it called?
Scuba knit? There's scuba knit.
It's like underwater, like wetsuit material.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, some people use scuba
sure.
knit for garments, so I'm not sure if that's exactly the same thing that you're thinking.
Probably not.
Okay.
All right, that's the show for this week. No. There's a lot of comments going through. I don't see any questions.
Oh, here's one. Here's one right here.
Sorry, I just said I don't see any questions.
Oh, you're too late now. It slid down already.
This one?
No.
Well, you answer that one. I'm
okay.
going to blow it.
Sandy says, what patterns of Sara's have a divider down the middle of the bag? The Lilium laptop bag does. There's a bag from my second book, Windy City Bags, and the pattern is called Trompe-l'Oeil. That one has a divider down the middle. I'm trying to think if any others have dividers. The free Oslo Craft bag sort of has a divider. It's a little bit different. It's not a lengthwise divider. I think those are the only two that I can think of at this particular moment.
It said, Danny, don't let your first project go as a UFO.
Tracy says, I saw something that says to use salt on tin foil and run a hot iron back and forth to clean. Has anyone done that? I remember making a paste with salt and baking soda and a little bit of water to make like a paste and trying to clean my iron. This was years ago, and it was super messy, and it was challenging, and it didn't get all the gunk off the iron. So I think, having personally experienced that in the past, I think that would probably be my very last choice for cleaning and iron, that particular method. Cheryl says, did you get your white cork?
Could be white cork or vinyl or
white cork. I keep forgetting to look. So I'm not sure. The Croco white cork I think is out of stock. I'm not sure if that's the one you're thinking of. But no, we have not gotten that one in yet. It's been out of stock with the manufacturer for a little bit of time now. Oh, I see a question, in case it goes by you too fast, asking about the Park Sling backpack. If there's a video for that one, there is. We have it bundled with the pattern, or you could just buy the pattern separately if you only want the pattern, but there is a video available for that pattern. Leslie says, have you guys ever thought of having t-shirts made that say so sweetness with both of your faces on them and sell them? Oh, that's funny. I haven't heard that recommendation before.
So you want this face on a shirt? I tell you, we have a head designer working on some...
Oh, Violet, yeah.
Yeah.
We would like to have shirts. We kind of dabbled with that a little bit late last year, and we weren't happy with the we wanted to go in a slightly different direction, and we just haven't had time to circle back around to that.
We just need space. That's our biggest key feature missing is lack of space to have inventory.
Yeah, we're dreaming about all the different products we can carry when we move to a different house/facility. All sorts of cool stuff. Hardware. What else did you talk about?
I got a slogan. One-stop bag shop. Oh, right there.
Is it okay if I make bags for your patterns and sell them in my shop? Yes. The Home Sewist may make bags or pouches from any of my patterns and sell them at craft fairs, online, in your shop, wherever you're selling them. Yep.
You know, it's a funny story, Sarah. How do you finish your videos?
If I can do it, so can you.
Where did you get that one from?
I don't know. I've always said it, so it just it's hard to tell where it came from.
I'll just say what.
It just feels like part of me now because I feel like I've always. Isn't it funny that even if you've only been doing something for a year or two, it can almost feel like you've always done it? Yeah. That's how I feel like with that little saying. Debbie says, I have purchased some Outback Wife bark cloth with yellow flowers. Which cork should I use for the side panels of the bag with the book? So I know which fabric you're talking about, and let me grab it. I'm actually wearing legit jeans instead of pajama pants. I don't know if you noticed.
You're lucky. It's why when we do the overhead, I have to cut really fast. You don't see her wearing her pajama pants.
I think she's talking about this fabric. So I auditioned this fabric with Cork also because I wasn't sure which match I was going to go with. And I felt, so the yellow cork is a little bit different of a hue than any of the yellows in this fabric. I pulled the vanilla cork, and the vanilla cork is like a creamy, it's not white. It's like a...
Sort of like this.
It's sort of like this. So me personally, I liked the vanilla cork, although I could see the natural with gold because this is actually metallic gold. And there's also a really cool newer cork in the shop called Gatsby, which is like a natural background with like a gold shell kind of designs in it. That would look cool with this also. Brown would look good. The brown is a pretty close match. The greens, we don't have a green cork that matches. There's green cork. There's green in the flowers. We don't have a match for that. So hopefully that helps. Are you pulling it on the questions?
No.
Oh, okay.
We still got time, Sarah.
Cheryl says, would you use the Sloan bag for a travel bag? Is it large enough? The Sloan bag, I don't have it here. It's huge. It's I think it finishes at either 18 or 19 inches long. I've personally used it many times for traveling on an airplane, and I use it, even though it's gigantic, I can still kind of smoosh it a little and get it underneath the seat in front of me, and then so I could still have my carry-on suitcase. But my common carry-on bags that I like to use are the Sloan travel bag, the airplane bag, and the Aragon bag, which has a video, and so does the airplane bag. Kim says, how long does it take to make the yarn minder bag? I would say maybe 8 or 9 hours. I'm not sure if that's including cutting and interfacing. It might not. It's hard because when we filmed the video for that one, I basically made 3 bags at the same time, so my time for that doesn't count. Stephanie says, Danny, you are so funny. Sarah's off eating bonbons while you slave away.
Oh, Stephanie, great comment.
Amanda says, have you tried out your embroidery machine yet? The embroidery machine was keeping our kitchen counter company for a long time. And
I finally watching guard.
I finally got tired of it because I wanted my whole kitchen counter. I don't know if you use Instagram, if you saw some photos I posted on Instagram the past few days, like sort of a view of my sewing room, or maybe you've seen on the live shows in the past. We don't have a lot of room in here, and our house is really small, and so that's why we had our embroidery machine on the kitchen counter. But it was just collecting all sorts of knickknacks on top of it, so I got tired of it, and so I'm under the assumption that eventually we will move. I don't know when. So I put it in. We have a room, which it's very sad, but we have like a whole room in the house that is dedicated to our transitional moving room. So that means we have boxes of books and bags of stuffed animals in the room ready to move. But they've been in there for a really long time. And so it's kind of, at this point, it's sad. So the embroidery machine moved into that room on top of a box with the cover ready to move to our new house if we find it. It's just crazy around here. So that's the honest truth about the embroidery machine. La Anita says, what interfacing would you use if using home decor fabric such as upholstery fabric for a bag? So if you're using that fabric for the lining, I would just leave it uninterfaced because it should be thick enough to begin with. If you're using it for the exterior, you may be okay using the same interfacing as called for in the pattern, or you may need to adjust the interfacing depending on how thick your exterior fabric is. If it's like a really thick tapestry fabric, you might need to downgrade from, say, foam to fleece, again, depending on the pattern, just because some of those decorator or upholstery fabrics can be quite thick, and especially if your bag has like pockets on the front and flaps and all sorts of other things, it might be too thick for your machine. And so I guess you'll just need to consider exactly how thick it is. If it's like a thinner canvas, you're okay to use the same interfacing as called for in the pattern, but I think you need to consider what your sewing machine can handle, and also how you want the finished bag to look, because obviously fleece won't have the same straight up look as the foam interfacing will. I'm just thinking in my head as I'm answering that question, I'm like, Danny's probably like, why is she taking so long to answer that?
She took even longer to explain it afterwards.
Ella Lou says, do your children have any interest in sewing? And if so, have you started teaching them how? So before they started kindergarten, each of them did some work with the machine. So my friend gave me a smaller Janome, I guess, children's sewing machine. And I had them sew on loose leaf paper, which is like lined paper with no thread in the needle, just so they could practice sewing in a straight line. Violet's made a few projects. She made like a little bed for one of her stuffed animals, like a sleeping bag type of thing. She hasn't asked to sew anything lately, but she has her little fabric stash for when she's ready. And I never push them to do anything because I don't want them to like something just because I like it. Margaret says there is gripper fabric used in children's shoes. Suede is also good as well as wool. Oh, the gripper for the straps. Oh, that's a good idea. And the same
thing, neoprene was what they said the fabric.
Oh, neoprene. Okay, yes, yeah. I could see that. I understand.
No, I think this is what you were
Thank you. About. And Jill says strap connecting from the shoulder straps across your chest to keep them together. So like a crossbody. No.
So you have two straps here and then a connector of these two straps.
Oh, for a backpack.
Yeah, for the backpack.
Yes,
that's
I understand
falling
that.
Off the shoulder.
I understand that, yep. Michelle says, while you're talking about that, I think I have, this is from a couple years ago, a blog tutorial on my site. So this is not a video. I think, I'm trying to think of who it was. The Cloth Albatross guest wrote a tutorial for my blog on how to make a connector for the backpack straps like you just mentioned. So I believe that should be on my blog under the tutorials tab, I think. Michelle says, I had my son start with sewing just straight lines. He then made a pillow for his sister, then helped make a quilt block, and he's made desktop cubes to other items, but I can't remember. He's avoided zippers, says they're scary. You know, a lot of adults say that zippers are scary too.
I've seen that comment in the group often.
Yeah.
Zippers and sewing curves.
Liz says, how do I get started to be a bag lady? So first of all, welcome, Liz. I would highly recommend checking out the Baker Street bag pattern and video. It's on my website, or you can find that on YouTube, or the Easy Leather Hobo bag. I feel like the Baker Street bag is a great beginner-friendly pattern, and it allows you to try sewing with a zipper, sewing kind of like a three-dimensional bag as opposed to like a flat zipper pouch. So that's a fun sew, and I know tons of people have made it, and they all look beautiful, I think.
Very cool.
Cheryl says Cork. Oh, the Croco White. Yeah, I'm not sure when we will have that in. I keep ordering it, and every time I order it, the manufacturer says they don't have any in production. So hopefully we can get that one in soon. 2 of my daughters are going away to college. Which of your bags should I send them with? That's a good question. I think I saw recently some members of the Facebook group made some Aragon bags for children going to college or on trips. What other bags? I mean, the Sloan travel bag, which I mentioned a few minutes ago, is a really huge travel bag. What other bags? The Jet Set cinched bag is a really good toiletry bag if they're living in a dorm and going to the showers, taking toiletries. I could see that one. I know people have made the Oslo Craft bag as like a shower caddy type bag.
What about the gloss bag? Is that you said already?
The gloss cosmetic bag, that would be a good one. That's from Minikin Season 2. I'm trying to think of what else would be really good. Well, if they like backpacks, one of the backpack patterns, the Park Sling or the Cumberland backpack.
Honestly, I think even like a day trip wallet that they can put in their back. I assume they're going to have a backpack already going to classes and stuff. Something they could put in their backpack that's got their other stuff. I like the day trip. It's got a nice little strap.
I'm trying to think what else. It's hard to remember them all.
We have a nice website. You can scroll through some of the pictures. And
yeah, that's
maybe
true.
something will appeal to you more. Maybe up more your alley. But that's it for the questions.
You're calling on the questions? All right. Thank you so much for joining us for Ask
thank you so
Sara.
much.
I hope you'll join us for next Tuesday. I'm super excited for the book club. Again, that's
if you guys want to write
Tuesday.
comments to Sara about why I'm not on the show next week, please address them to Sara@sewsweetness.com and address it Danny, why is not on the show? Please take them back. Okay.
You'll be fine. I mean, you haven't read the book, so how could you possibly...
How do you know if I've read the book?
Because I know you haven't.
How rude, as Stephanie would say. One of my favorite characters from a television show.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great night or rest of your day. I'll see you next week, and happy sewing. Bye. Everybody.
Won't go. Make it stop.